Hello guys. So in the last video we were discussing about some problems of induction motor. We already know the construction and working principle of induction motor, three-phase induction motor. So today we'll discuss some new topic, that is concept of rotating magnetic field. Concept of rotating magnetic field means we know that in case of three-phase induction motor, the magnetic field produced by the stator windings will be rotating with a speed that is called synchronous speed. That we already know. How actually the rotating magnetic field produced? So we have a stator here and we have the stator windings, that is three-phase windings, which are placed 120 degree apart. So here we are going to give the three-phase supply. Phase R, phase Y, phase B. So here we are going, this phase A, phase R is going to produce the flux. Let me call this flux as phi R. So phase B is going to, let me call this as Y and this as B. So this is phi Y, that is the flux produced by winding Y, phi B flux. So this is north pole, south pole, the supply is also 120 degree apart. So it is going to produce the flux like this. So after first half cycle, second half cycle, again the flux changes its position. So this happens many times in 1 second, so that the magnetic field appears to be rotating. And it is rotating with a speed called synchronous speed. Rotating with a speed called synchronous speed. Now the concept is, so here we have stator, here we have rotor. Between stator and rotor there is a very small gap that we call it as air gap. Will the generated magnetic field have the same magnitude of flux in the entire air gap? Understand the question? So here we have stator, here we have rotor. Windings will be there here, okay. And this is going to produce a rotating magnetic field. Magnetic field is rotating with a speed that is called synchronous speed. And the generated magnetic field will have the same magnitude in the whole air gap or not. That is the question, okay. We'll see that whether it will be constant or it will be varying. If it is varying, how much times it is varying, that we'll see later. Okay, so here we have three fluxes, phi R, phi Y, phi B. Since the supply is sinusoidally varying, obviously the flux also sinusoidally varying. Let me write it. Phi R, supply R is given by VR is equal to Vm sin omega t, right? So similarly phi R is equal to phi m sin omega t. Phi Y, then we have to write about phi Y. So Vy is equal to Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree. Why minus 120 degree? Because in the three-phase supply, each phase is separated by an angle of 120 degree. So we are going to write, so let me write here, Vr is equal to Vm sin omega t, Vy is equal to Vm sin omega t minus 120, because it is a three-phase supply. Similarly, Vb is equal to Vm sin omega t minus 240. So from R phase to Y phase, that is 120 degree. From Y phase to B phase, that is 120 degree. Between R and B, it is 240 degree. So we have taken R phase as a reference. Okay. Phi Y is given by phi m sin omega t minus 120. This is also separated by an angle of 120 degree. Okay. So phi B is equal to phi m sin omega t. All the phases are acting at a time. If you look at the waveform of the flux with respect to omega t, so this is the flux generated in R phase. Flux generated in R phase, phi R, 0, 180, 360. Phi y should start from 120 degree, after 120 degree. So here you have phi y. Phi y. The amplitude is same. Okay. Then phi b is starting at 240 degree, means here. Right? This is phi b. So this will be, as we can see, yeah. Yes. So this is 0 degree, this is 60 degree, this is 120 degree, this is 180 degree. 0 to 180, there are 3 points, 3 equidistances. So if you divide 180 by 3, it is 60 degree. So from here to here it is 60 degree, here to here it is 60 degree. So 60, 120, 180. So at this point, if we consider this point, let me check what is the magnitude of flux. So it is nothing but phi r plus phi y plus phi b. That is the vector sum. Phi r, vector sum of phi r plus phi y plus phi b. If you take the vector sum, that is actually the resultant flux acting in the air gap. So it is a rotating flux. Rotating flux should have some magnitude, right? So what is that magnitude? That magnitude is the vector sum of these three. So let me call it as resultant. Phi resultant. Magnitude of phi resultant is given by the vector sum of these three. Okay, let me check how it will work. Let me consider omega t is equal to 0. Initially, the angle is 0. Exactly at this point I am considering. At this point, which waveform is this? This waveform is phi b. So what is the value of phi b? Phi b is having certain value. I don't know what is that value. We'll see that later. Okay. Phi y is having certain value. Phi b is positive. Phi y is negative. Okay. We'll write the vector diagram taking phi r as a reference. So here I have phi r. From phi r to phi y, the angle is 120 degree. So this is phi y. So this is phi b. This is the vector diagram. First case, I have taken case 1. So case 1 is omega t is equal to 0. Substitute in this equation, in this 3 equation. If you substitute here, what you will get? Phi r is equal to phi m sin omega t. What is the value of omega t? Omega t is 0. Sin 0 value is 0. So phi r is 0. Phi r will become 0. So the magnitude of phi r is 0. Then phi y. What is the value of phi y? See here. Sin omega t, phi m sin omega t minus 120. 0 minus 120. Sin of minus 120. What is the value of sin 120? Sin 120 is root 3 by 2. Minus root 3 by 2. Because sin of minus 120. Sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. Into phi m. This remains same. So this is the value of phi y. Similarly, calculate phi b. What is the value of phi b? Phi m sin omega t minus 240. Omega t minus 240 is nothing but omega t plus 120. We can write this equation as phi m sin omega t plus 120. Why? How it will be plus 120? See here, if you have taken from clockwise direction, from here to here, clockwise direction, that is minus 240, because your phi b is lagging behind phi r. We have taken phi r as a reference. But if you consider from this direction, anti-clockwise direction, your phi b is leading phi r by an angle of 120 degree. So we can write this as phi m sin omega t plus 120 degree. So omega t is equal to 0. Sin 120 is root 3 by 2. So phi b will be root 3 by 2 times of phi. Now we can alter the vector diagram to get the resultant flux. What is the resultant flux? Phi r is equal to vector sum of these two. We have to do vector sum, not scalar sum. Okay. What is the value of phi y? Phi y is minus root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Here we have phi m. This is positive phi m. What is the magnitude of this is phi y. So I have to get minus. Minus means opposite direction. So in the opposite direction, and this magnitude is that is phi y opposite root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So what is the value of phi y? Phi y is minus negative of phi y. Negative of phi y means opposite direction. And what is its amplitude? Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Right? Then what is phi b? Phi b is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Positive. So here we have phi b, that is phi m sin omega t minus 240. So phi m is the magnitude right now we have. But what we are getting at this point, at when omega t is equal to 0, it is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So this may be phi m, root 3 by 2 times means 1.5 times. So here we'll get somewhere here. Okay. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So to get the resultant, what we need to do? We need to do vector sum of these three. Anyway, phi r is 0. Phi y is root 3 by 2 times of phi m, that we have here. Phi b is root 3 by 2 times of phi m, that we have here. See, these two amplitudes should be same. Okay. Resultant will be the vector sum of these two. So this is your resultant, that is phi r. What I have taken for resultant? Phi r, yes, right? Okay, I will take it as phi small letter r. Phi small letter r is the resultant. Capital letter R is the r phase. Okay, don't get confused. So here we have phi r. So what is phi r? How can we write the phi r now? See, this is a right angle triangle. If I write a bisector here, so this is a right angle triangle. This is exactly half of this. So that is phi r by 2. Exactly half. I am talking only about this length. Okay. I don't have space here, so I have ended this here, so otherwise it will be extended. Okay, so this is the opposite direction, this is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. This is a right angle triangle. The total angle between phi r and phi b is 120 degree. Total angle. Now I have made it exactly half. See here, exactly half of that means 60-60. So this angle is 60 degree and this angle is 60 degree. So this angle is also 60 degree, exactly half of that, and half of that is 30 degree. So what is this angle? This angle is 30 degree. I'll show you how it will be. So this will be like this. So this angle is 120 degree. So here we have phi y. Exactly opposite you are going to take it. So exactly opposite means it is going to bisect this two. I mean exactly at the middle. So this angle will be 60 degree. Now this angle is also 60 degree. What we have done? We have written a resultant here. So this is your resultant and this is total 60 degree. Exactly half of that will be 30 degree. So what is this angle? This angle is 30 degree. Let me take that for cos 30. To get the resultant, let me take that as cos angle. Cos angle means cos 30. Cos 30 is given by adjacent divided by hypotenuse. What is adjacent? Phi r by 2. Phi r by 2 is the adjacent. Divide by hypotenuse. What is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Cos 30 value is root 3 by 2, which will be equal to, let me cancel these twos, both are there in denominator, denominator of the numerator, denominator of the denominator. So we can cancel that. Remaining thing is phi r by phi m multiplied by root 3, I'll take this side. So this will be root 3 multiplied by root 3. Root 3 multiplied by root 3 will be 3 by 2. Phi m I'll take here. Phi m is equal to phi r. So what is your resultant flux? When omega t is equal to 0, resultant flux is given by 3 by 2 times of phi m. So this is the magnitude of resultant flux when omega t is equal to 0. Means we have find out what is the magnitude of flux at this point. And we have to check whether it will be equal at each point or not. Let us see. We'll take at this angle 60 degree. Case 2, omega t is equal to 60 degree. Okay. Phi r is equal to sin omega t. Sin omega 60 degree. What is the value of sin 60? It is root 3 by 2. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. You just need to substitute value of omega in this equation. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2 phi m. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Next. 60 minus 120. That is minus 60 degree. So what is the value of sin 60 degree? Again it is root 3 by 2. But it is minus. Phi y is given by minus root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Phi b. So what is the value of phi b? See here, phi m sin 60 minus 240. What is 60 minus 240? 60 minus 240 will be 180 degree. Sin 180 is 0. So your phi b value will become 0. Again we'll write the same vector diagram. Yeah. So this is phi r. This is phi y. And phi b will be here. Phi b. Yes. So what is the value of phi r? Phi r is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So this is phi m. This magnitude is phi m. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m means it will be here. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. The value of phi r is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Then value of phi y is minus. Minus means opposite direction. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Same value. So it will be, the magnitude should be same. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Okay. What is the value of phi b? Phi b is 0. So this will become 0. This is what it will appear like. Now the resultant flux will be the vector sum of these two. That is phi r. Again the same thing. You have to bisect here. When you bisect here, this will be a right angle triangle. This side is phi r by 2. And this is the angle. Again it is 30 degree. I have already explained this. This is the opposite and phi r. So again you have to apply the cos 30. Cos 30 is given by adjacent. Adjacent is phi r by 2. Then hypotenuse, that is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So cos 30 value is root 3 by 2. So this 2 and this 2 gets cancelled. Multiplied by root 3, which will be equal to phi r by phi m. So this implies phi r is 3 by 2 times of phi m. So again at 60 degree, here phi m is same as what it is at 0 degree. Sorry, here 0 degree, right? We'll check for 2 more cases to verify. So we have done with 60 degree. And next we'll go for 120 degree. When omega t is equal to 120 degree. Case 3. Omega t is equal to 120 degree. So when omega t is equal to 120 degree, what is the value of phi r? Phi r is sin omega 120 degree. What is sin omega 120 degree? Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Then phi y. What is the value of phi y now? The value of phi y is 0 because 120 minus 120 is 0. So phi y will become 0. Phi b. 120 minus 240, that will be minus 120. So phi m sine minus 120, that is minus root 3 by 2 times of phi m. I'll write the same thing. So now I'll write like this dotted line so that you can understand better. Phi r, phi y, phi b. So this is the actual vector. So what is the value of phi r? Root 3 by 2 times of phi m in the positive direction. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. What is the value of phi y? Phi y is 0. So this will become 0. What is the value of phi b? Minus. Minus means opposite direction. How much is the magnitude? Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So this is phi m. If you write the same distance, that will be phi m. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m is? Yes. So root 3 by 2 times of phi m. That is phi b. Resultant flux. The vector sum of these two. So this is the resultant. Phi r. Again same thing. Bisect here. This will be phi r by 2. And this will be 30 degree. So this will be root 3 by 2 times of phi m. If you do this, same calculation. If you do this, you will get phi r is equal to 3 by 2 times of phi m. So I will not repeat the thing. I will not repeat the derivation because already I have done it. Case 4. We'll do it for one half cycle, one complete half cycle. So we have done up to 120 degree. We'll take now 180 degree. Omega t is equal to 180 degree. When you take it as 180 degree, first phi r, phi m sine omega t, 180 degree. Sine 180 degree, it is 0. So phi r is equal to 0. Then phi y, 180 minus 120, that is sine 60. Phi m sine 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Phi b, phi m sine omega t. Omega t is 180. 180 minus 240. So minus 60 degree. So phi b will be minus root 3 by 2 times of phi m. Now the vector diagram will be phi r, phi y, phi b. Okay. What is the value of phi r? 0. So this will become 0. What is the value of phi y? Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. So this is phi m. Root 3 by 2 times means this one. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. What is the value of phi b? Minus root 3 by 2. So this is phi b. Minus root 3 by 2 means it will be like this. Root 3 by 2 times of phi m. We should not write minus here because already we have taken opposite direction. Again, need not to mention it as minus. Now the resultant will be vector sum of these two. Draw the bisector. So this will be phi r by 2. So if you do this again, your phi r will be 3 by 2 times of phi m. So from this what we can conclude? Whatever the angle at each instant, so this is the sinusoidally varying flux. At any instant, the magnitude of flux remains constant, that is phi r root 3 by 2 times of phi m. This is phi m. 1.5 root 3 by 2 times of phi m is nothing but 1.5. Root 3 by 2 is 1.5. So the flux, magnitude of flux, rotating flux is given by 1.5 times of maximum flux and it remains constant. At any angle, the magnitude of resultant flux will remain constant. So that is what the concept of rotating magnetic field. So this is one of the important question. I hope you have understood. If you have any doubt, please WhatsApp me. Thank you.